Hey guys, I'm Eric.
And I'm Grace. We're the Wandering Ravens.
And today we are wearing our hair like this to distract you from the fact that we are very tired. But enough about us. Right now we're going to introduce you to some of the UK's most terrifying monsters.
No, not that kind. Today we're going to be talking about creepy creatures from ancient folklore and mythology.
That's the most foul, cruel, and bad-tempered rodent you ever set eyes on.
But before we begin, if you hate it when Americans chin wag about British culture, make sure you subscribe to this channel for fresh and disappointing content every week. Thank you.
The Bean-nighe.
Bean-nighe is a Scottish Gaelic word for washerwoman. And before you get too excited, no, we are not talking about hedgehogs. Instead, the Bean-nighe is a creepy omen of death, a messenger from the other world.
She's a type of banshee that haunts streams and rivers and washes the clothes of people who are soon to die.
So if you see blood in the water, look upstream because you just might see a Bean-nighe washing your bloody clothes.
To make matters worse, she's an ugly old munter, having one eye, a single tooth, a large nostril, saggy breasts, and thin string-like hair.
What she looks like varies a little bit based on the region though. For example, on the islands of Mull and Tiree in Scotland, it's said that the Bean-nighe's breasts are so long and saggy that they actually get in the way of her washing, and so she throws them over her shoulders and hangs them down her back.
It's like do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to a bow? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Can you throw them over your shoulders like I continental? So do your ears hang low? Do your boobs hang low?
Yeah, there we go. That's the more
Can you
accurate
tie
version.
them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Can you throw them over?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you just might be a Bean-nighe.
Where does she come from?
The legends vary a little bit depending on location, but two popular stories are that either the Bean-nighe is a woman that died in childbirth, or that she's a woman who died prematurely from another cause and was buried in dirty clothes. The one thing that all the origin stories share is that this was a woman who died prematurely and so is tasked with washing clothes until the day at which she would have originally died.
Now, she is so creepy, but is she dangerous?
Fortunately, no. Despite looking a bit haggard, the Bean-nighe can be quite charming if you actually approach her. Again, what she does when you approach her varies a bit based on county. So in some places, the Bean-nighe will grant a wish, while in others, if you ask her a question, she will give you the answer.
In the Scottish Isles, you're supposed to approach her quietly from behind. Because remember, she's got her boobs hanging over her shoulders. When you're close enough, you're supposed to grab onto one of her long boobs and start suckling. Naturally, she'll ask who you are, at which point you're supposed to say that you are her foster child.
The Bean-nighe is as gullible as she is ugly because she will believe you, take you into her arms, and then you can ask her whose clothes she is washing. If she's washing the clothes of your enemy, you can tell her to continue, so that they die. But if she's washing your clothes or the clothes of someone that you care about, you can ask her to stop, at which point she will put down the clothes, get back to nursing you, and then you or the person you care about won't die. The Gwythgi. Did we get it right?
The Gwythgi, also called the Dog of Darkness or the Black Hound of Destiny, is just one black dog in a series of large and scary dogs that you should try to avoid in the UK. This version of the black dog hails from Wales and is famous for its massive size, red eyes, and terrible breath.
Is it a dangerous dog?
Well, yes and no. Based off of accounts we read, the dog itself won't harm you, thank goodness. But seeing the dog is a sure omen of death. You will either die from the terror of seeing the dog, or you will encounter a terrible fate soon after and meet your demise. Herne the Hunter.
First mentioned by Shakespeare in The Merry Wives of Windsor, Herne the Hunter is a terrifying spectre that haunts the forests of Berkshire. He is a dreadful, maleficent tormentor of man and beast alike and can be heard coming due to the sound of chains that he carries about his body, as well as recognized by the giant antlers upon his head. He has a human form, wears a giant deerskin hood, and is accompanied by a pack of hounds. As for his antlers, we're not sure if these are actually part of the deerskin hood, or if, like in the original Shakespeare story, they grow directly from his head. If you know the answer to that, do let us know. What's his origin story?
Well, we don't know a lot about Hearn, but given that he is the ghost of someone who's died, it's likely that he died some unholy death.
Ooh. How do we know that?
Because otherwise he'd be in heaven, of course. As it stands, Hearn is bound to this world. Popular theories state that Hearn was likely a poacher, which is why he torments animals. Or another theory is that he was gored to death by a deer, which would explain his hatred for woodland creatures. Did you find out what his powers are?
Hearn's got some nasty skills. He can cause trees to die just by touching them. He can bewitch cows into producing blood instead of milk. You don't want that on your cornflakes. And seeing Hearn the Hunter is said to be an omen of death or natural disaster.
I'm just gonna say, Hearn can do a lot, but a lot of his powers seem very useless. I mean, what's he gonna do? Hurt a dairy farmer? I guess that's pretty much it.
That's pretty bad, yeah. Or kill off an orchard or two.
That's true. He can only hurt people in agriculture.
Question for you. I've heard that there is some debate about which oak in the Forest of Windsor is actually Hearn's oak. So if you know which tree that is, do let us know so that we can find it and have a chat with good old Hearn ourselves.
We could go Hearn hunting.
With Hearn hunting.
That could be a series in and of itself. We go on a quest throughout the UK to find all of their enchanted
all their scary
beings.
Creatures.
Yes. We go on like a paranormal hunt.
I think people would subscribe for that. Revenants.
Speaking of undead specters who are back for revenge, let's talk about Revenants. Though unlike Hearn the Hunter, Revenants aren't ghosts. Instead, these stinky bad boys are reanimated corpses who have come back from the dead to haunt the living. Kind of like Eric's hair.
Tales of Revenants were brought to the UK by Norse invaders, and soon Brits themselves were spotting the undead up and down their island. They would emerge from the grave during the night, torment the living, and then return to their earthly abode during the day.
One famous Revenant story was written down by William of Newburgh, who tells the story of a man of evil conduct who fled justice and ran away to the city of York, where he eventually married. Not long after his marriage, though, he began to suspect that his wife was cheating on him. So he hid in the rafters of his bedroom, and, as he suspected, he caught his wife having a bit of "how's your father" with a neighbor. Furious, our man of evil conduct was about to call out, but just as he was about to do so, he lost his balance and fell to his death. Let's let William of Newburgh take the story from here.
A Christian burial indeed he received, though unworthy of it, but it did not much benefit him, for issuing by the handiwork of Satan, he emerged from his grave at nighttime, and he wandered through the courts and around the houses, while all men made fast their doors, and did not dare to go abroad on any errand whatever from the beginning of the night until the sunrise, for fear of meeting and being beaten black and blue by this vagrant monster.
Did he hurt people?
Yes, the Revenant actually ended up killing a number of the townspeople, and so they responded by snatching up a spade of but indifferent sharpness of edge and hastening to the cemetery, where they began to dig. And whilst they were thinking that they would have to dig a great depth, they suddenly, before much of the earth had been removed, laid bare the corpse, swollen to an enormous corpulence.
They did a pun! Corpulence!
Corpulence. With its countenance beyond measure, turgid and suffused with blood. The young men, however, spurred on by wrath, feared not, and inflicted a wound upon the senseless carcass, out of which flowed such a stream of blood that it might have been taken for a leech filled with the blood of many persons. Then, dragging it beyond the village, they speedily constructed a funeral pile, and upon one of them saying that the pestilential body would not burn unless its heart were torn out, the other laid open its side by repeated blows of the blunted spade, and thrusting in his hand, dragged out the accursed heart. This being torn piecemeal, the body was now consigned to the flames. So there we have a bit of an idiot's guide to
how to
Revenants.
kill a Revenant?
Yeah, how to kill a Revenant.
I feel we might have a great deal of those in the future, as not everyone gets a proper Christian burial anymore.
And this guy actually had a proper Christian burial, but it didn't help him.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, see, the handiwork of Satan, guys. The handiwork of Satan.
The Knuckle of V.
Hailing from the Orkney Islands, the Knuckle of V is a skinless horse and rider fused together to create a terrifying sea demon.
Now that we've heard about all of these terrifying creatures, I have one question for the inhabitants of the British Isles.
Yes.
What kind of psychedelics do they have there?
Yeah. What were these ancient people smoking?
Yeah, what kind of mushrooms used to grow in ancient Scotland?
Unlike other Scottish demons, which tend to have redeeming or charming qualities, the Knuckle of V is entirely malevolent, full of hate, and happy to slaughter humans, animals, and crops without any hesitation.
Fortunately for Scots, this freaky creature is bound to the sea during the summer months, allowing Scottish children to enjoy their single hour of sunshine without fear of this horse and rider.
What are some of the Knuckle of V's powers?
As an evil spirit, the Knuckle of V is able to inflict all kinds of damage. From giving diseases to islanders' crops, to driving livestock off of cliffs, and spreading plagues, sickness, and death. Basically, any sort of disaster can be blamed on the Knuckle of V.
Do you want to learn more about British wildlife? Then make sure you watch this playlist of videos right here. These videos will introduce you to a whole bunch of British animals that we do not have in America.
Also, we wanted to take a moment to say thank you to all of our wonderful subscribers. And for us, this channel is a way to learn about British culture and make friends while we do it. So thank you to everyone who always takes the time to chat with us in the comment section. We really appreciate you guys.
We have a quick announcement in a second, but first, what is your favorite British monster or ghost story? Share it with us in the comments, and if we get enough of them, we might be able to make a part 2 of this video. All right, quick announcement. As you likely know, YouTube is not our job. It's just a hobby. We actually have full-time copywriting jobs during the day, and then we just edit YouTube videos and shoot these things when we have time. Making 3 YouTube videos a week was really easy to do during lockdown and the quarantine period, but now with things starting to open back up again, business picking up, our workload during the day has gotten a lot heavier. And because right now YouTube doesn't make us enough money to cut down on our copywriting work, we've had to dedicate a lot more time to accommodating our clients, resulting in less time for editing YouTube videos. As a result, right now, unfortunately, we do have to go down on our YouTube content. So we've been posting 3 videos a week, but we're gonna be transitioning this week to posting 2 videos a week. I'm sorry. We do really want to make 3 videos a week, but right now we just do not have the resources or the time to do that given our day jobs. But don't worry, once our YouTube channel and Patreon income grows to the point where we're able to retire some of our copywriting work, we will return to doing YouTube at least 3 times a week. So you guys are on this journey with us right now. This journey is taking a little bit of a pause. We're going down to 2 videos a week, which, you know, is still 2 videos a week. And we'll be back with 3 videos as soon as we're able to afford to do that. So if you want to help us reach that goal, make sure you subscribe to this channel because this is a learning adventure and you guys are all invited. We will see you in the next video. Auf Wiedersehen!